What's up, everybody? And this is my BrickHead. Wow. Hi, cat. How about you leave? I love you. No, I'm just kidding. But these are BrickHeadz right here. And these are also the subject matter of today's build. And look, we got the other gray one. One light bluish gray cat out and one dark bluish gray cat. Yes, I have two, well, not really silver tabbies, but grayish tabby cats. If they were real silver tabbies, I think I would be in luck as far as what they are worth. But no, this one's been hanging out with me a lot lately. It's Nimbus. The other one earlier was Kiki. So back to today's build. We got BrickHeadz with us. And this is the big BrickHeadz Star Wars set of the year. We get one like this for Harry Potter in the fall, and we get one like this in the late spring for Star Wars. This is going to be a 10 and older set number 40796. It is the Revenge of the Sith Heroes and Villains BrickHeadz with 656 pieces. It features the BrickHeadz of Padme Amidala, Anakin Skywalker, General Grievous, Emperor Palpatine, and Mace Windu. Looking at the front of the box, we can see them all kind of laid out on a stage or a platform. And we can see that our heroes on the front of the box, at least, is going to be Padme Amidala, Anakin Skywalker, and our Mace Windu. So we got three heroes at here. And then we have two of the villains, which is going to be General Grievous, featuring lots of lightsabers, and Emperor Palpatine. Going around the box, we will see that our villains do change as we go around this box. And then let's start by going off over on this side. Here we have the country of origins, some other writing in another language, Lego logo and set number, and our do not eat it. On this side of the box, we have, well, the real life depictions of the BrickHeadz that we have in this box with Grievous, Palpatine, Anakin, Padme, and Mace. And then we have the Star Wars logo right down there. Looking at the top of the box, we don't have any pictures or anything, just a one-to-one of one of General Grievous's elements and the names of the characters in the set with the Lego BrickHeadz logo. And then at the bottom of the box, same thing, Lego BrickHeadz logo, recycling information, legal barcode, and all of that. And then that allows us to come to the back of the box where we can see the big Easter egg is now the villains are Anakin and Palpatine with Grievous, and then our heroes now are Padme and Mace Windu. So this is for the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. That's why we have these characters, because each one of these characters played a really heavy pivotal point in the turning of Anakin Skywalker. Because we got Mace, who originally was going to back Anakin and do the right thing and apprehend the Emperor. Well, that literally went out the window, for lack of a better term. And then Anakin went bad to save Padme, and, well, that didn't go out very well either. And then we have Grievous, who was the last to fall right before Order 66 hit the fan. So I think this is a really good collection of BrickHeadz that I'm excited to add to my collection. And this set of BrickHeadz does cost about $50 US, sticking on with that $10 per BrickHead price. Speaking of per BrickHeadz, we do have one more to talk about, and that's going to be right over here in this little teeny weeny box. And it's going to be another 10 and older BrickHeadz 40795. It's a Luke Skywalker Rebel Pilot with 138 pieces. It's clearly Luke Skywalker with his Red 5 helmet and all of his Rebel pilot gear. This is really freaking cool. The box, just like with this one, has him on a platform, this time more tan, probably hinting towards Tatooine, where that one's red, hinting towards Revenge of the Sith, everything hitting the fan. And then we go to the side of the box. There we have Luke, actual from the movie, on the side of the box. On this side, we have our country of origins and our do not eat it on this side of the box. Here we have a one-to-one of the chest plate computer breathing apparatus for the X-Wing, BrickHeadz logo, and the name of the character in the set. And then on the bottom of the box, we got barcodes, legal eagles, recycling information, and the BrickHeadz logo one more time. Then, on the very back of the box, we got pictures from A New Hope with the X-Wing and Luke meeting his buddy on the Rebel base. And then we have another picture of the BrickHeadz going down onto the stand, Star Wars logo, BrickHeadz logos, Disney logos, logos. And that's going to be our other BrickHead. So at this point of the day, I just naturally wandered off there for a second, off camera, and I realized that I have 18 Star Wars BrickHeadz. And after today, we're going to add another 6 to that 18 and make 24. Man, What a hell of a great collection of BrickHeadz. Okay, so now let's unbox these sets. Let's take a look at what we have and lay out our bags right now here on the table. And then we're going to cut camera and we're going to get these built. So let's go ahead and let's go and give these a whack. Let's start off with the easy. Luke, one piece of tape. And we're in, if you didn't cut the box. I did buy another version of this set, well, not another version, another copy, because I just feel like these Luke Skywalker main character type builds always keep an extra around. So let's go ahead and let's give this a pour. So very uneventful pour. It's just going to be, what, 2 unnumbered bags. So to build Luke, you're just going to dump all of these into one bucket, and there you go. We do have some awesome printed elements, as you guys can see, of that helmet pieces and stuff. Really exciting for this guy. No QR code to get him built. He does have an extra plate floating around. There is no information about anything in the beginning of the book, but the book is going to give us 65 steps and 51 building pages. So that is our rogue leader right there. And then we have 2 pieces of tape, 1 and 2, and that is done. Let's do our pour. There we have it. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8 bags total. So most of these characters are going to take 2 bags to build, and a couple of them are only going to take a single bag. Trying to see who's going to be single and who's going to be double, because that's not 10 bags to build 5 characters, it is 8. Anyway, the answers lie in this envelope. Let's go ahead, let's give another whack-a-doodle. There we go. And we're in, and there's our books. Whee! No QR code still for BrickHeadz on any of these books. We can see here that we're going to have a whole actual jumper plate with the eyeballs off to the side for Anakin, so we can switch back and forth without having to pluck its eyes out. Just pluck that one piece out. So already, thank you LEGO for noticing that and doing that for us. So I did pick correctly. Anakin does start the fun with bag number 1, but he is going to be 60 steps to build and 50 pages total in this tiny little book. Now our next up is maybe Palpatine. Let's take a look. I'm just going by the back of the box, but it could be Padme. Yeah, I'm incorrect. Let's try Padme. Yes. So your Anakin's going to be 2 bags to build, and Padme's going to start us off here at the 3rd bag. And then we're going to have 43 building steps and 42 pages for Padme. Maybe next up would be the other one. Yes, very likely. So it seems like we may pick up Mace Windu at a bag number 5 right here. And Mace Windu is going to have 34 building steps and 30 pages. Pretty easy. And then it looks like we're going to go to our villains. Let's see. Yes, we pick up our next villain at bag number 6, which is going to be General Grievous. So cool to get a Grievous in a BrickHead. I mean, comment down below if you agree. I just love it, the idea. 49 building steps and 46 pages. And then we pick back up at a bag number 8 for Palpatine. And his book is going to have 42 building steps and 45 pages total to get him done. And that is all 5 of our characters, 6 if you count Luke. Now, what do we have to do? Well, we have to build. So let's go ahead, cut camera, take a couple hours, and then show you guys what all these awesome figures look built as BrickHeadz right here. Okay, so now let's begin our review of all of these BrickHeadz. Let's go ahead and we'll start off with the oddball, which is the one that's $10 and sells by itself. It's the Luke Skywalker Rebel Pilot. Let's go ahead and let's just begin taking a look. Well, we have 2 printed elements to kick off the review. We have the one right here on top of his helmet. Then we have the one right down below, which I believe is for the breathing apparatus for his suit while he flies his X-Wing. Then we do have his eyes covered up with this transparent orange, which is common to see with these Rebel Pilot helmets. We do have some interesting part usage to kind of define the helmet, but yet keep it looking like a brick head, hence the name BrickHead. And then coming back around, we see lots of fine part usage. We see an extra piece added right here for like the radio communications. Then pretty much the same technique. Then we have nice rounded elements on the top to give that red stripe down the middle with that extra yellow. The back is relatively plain with just a couple studs, but the similar techniques as what faces the front. We do have a blue lightsaber, and right below that on the foot is some greebling, but on this foot we don't have. Pretty cool BrickHeadz. Happy to have this guy, now part of the collection. Now coming over here to the heroes and villains, let's start off to the far right with our Mace Windu. Now Mace Windu is a lot of brown bricks. I can only imagine the challenge it was to take on this BrickHeadz, but I'm so happy that they did. I think I count 3 different shades of brown to create this wonderful figure. There is no hair greebling or anything, as Mace Windu does not have hair, so his head is nicely tiled off and in the shape of a brick with a nice plate on top. Interesting part usage for the ears. That's pretty common with BrickHeadz. We do have printed for the eyeballs, and we do have a printed center section right here. And then we do have some nice brick built details to get his robe down right. And then we do finish off with a nice purple lightsaber. Pretty sweet. Next up is our Palpatine. And now we have printed Sith eyes, which is going to be the only printed element that we have on this guy. But look at the brick usage to build the robe. Really nice usage. I like all of the techniques used to capture the nice roundness of the robe, yet keep it like a brick head. Super nice. I've seen robes before in BrickHeadz, but I like the way that this is done in the front. And we do have some nice greebling above the eyes to represent the wrinkles of Palpatine. He is finished off with 2 lightning bolts in his hand, as well as a ingot tile right there to complete his suit. He's mostly all black with a little bit of gray. Now here is a figure that really sells the pack. It is General Grievous. We see those printed Sith eyes once again, along with a printed nose piece. I don't believe Grievous was a Sith. I believe his eyes look like that due to the biological nature of his self within being a humanoid. I think it's what they call it. Not exactly sure. We do see lightsabers of green and blue. We have some interesting hinge usage, or hinge plate usage to make those arms. Some cheese slopes to add some definition. We see some green hidden down inside of him, just like you would in the movies. We have diagonal part usage on the head, put on with a single stud. Lots of slopes and stuff to get that done just right. And lots of curved tiles to get that done right with more green in the back. This is a really nice detailed figure. Definitely a standout one of the whole kit. I'm going to save Anakin for last. We're going to go down to Padme. Now, Padme, if you just walk by the set really fast, you think that this is a normal Jedi character, maybe some weird form of Obi or Qui-Gon or something weird, which wouldn't make any sense because this is Revenge of the Sith. Qui-Gon was gone by this point. But then you look a little bit closer, and then you see that printed 2x4 chest tile, and then you know exactly who this is, and it's going to be our girl Padme. This is pretty much how she looked towards the end of the movie before things hit the fan. This is definitely a pack of BrickHeadz done towards the end of a movie for the characters and what they look like. We do have lots of curved elements to make the hair. Then we have a nice ponytail. This was done with a really unique technique to get that done just right. We do have some light color for the lower pants with some dark brown for the shoes, printed for the eyeballs, and of course that printed center section. There is some cheese slopes there for the kerfluffling of the outfit. Not a bad figure at all. It's kind of interesting. She ended like this, but she started, well, as you can see, the bright red one up at the very top. Pretty cool. Now let's get into Anakin. At this point, he is Anakin. Later on, he may be Sith Anakin. We will see. I just put that there. That does not technically go there, so we can throw that off to the side. Like I've said when I unboxed it, it is pretty cool that they do allow you just to rip out the whole piece instead of each eye. Makes it a lot easier. Besides these 2 printed eyes that we're just talking about, we do have a printed center torso of a 2x3 tile in the center, and then we do have a nice blue lightsaber, lots of cheese slopes to get the frizzled hair look of Anakin Skywalker. Lots of good details, similar details with the ears, and then, you know, overall he is wearing his black robe. To take out his eyeballs, I believe you just reach in and give it a good pluck. Oh, I just removed his whole face. Whoops. Okay, give me 1 second to fix this. And then we finish off with the Sith eyes for Anakin Skywalker. Now, what's hard to believe is with these 3 Sith characters, we only had 1 extra Sith eye. I was really hoping that I could find 2 extras with all 6 of these eyeballs. There has to be at least 2 doubles, right? Well, no, because it would just be fun to take those over here and maybe find my Luke Skywalker of Return of the Jedi somewhere over there and give him some Sith eyeballs so we could see what, well, Palpatine wanted all along. Now let's revert Anakin back to the light side and wrap up this video. So here we are at the wrap-up segment. Let's just make this as easy as possible to get through. Price. There's nothing to complain. So far with Lego Star Wars, this is the only product that I don't believe has gone up in many years. It's almost as if Lego knows that their marketing is to keep making them because people are buying them enough, but yet it's not enough to start messing with the prices. So they're not 11, 12, 13 a figure yet. They're still priced just about right at the $10 a figure mark, with this set being about $50 and this set being $10. Price is one of those kind of things that normally holds you back with anything Lego, especially Lego Star Wars or any franchise. Well, you're not going to have that with these guys. They are just right, no complaints. They're BrickHeadz. That's the next thing. I'm going to get so many comments, and if you want to let her rip Tater Chip, well, let her rip Tater Chip down in the comments. I don't like BrickHeadz. You know what? I didn't like them either. And I still move these damn things around my house. I just don't have the Star Wars ones over here. I have a whole bouquet of them in my room. I don't know why I keep collecting them. Maybe it's the $10 price tag that's like, oh look, it's a build. That takes me a few minutes and I get a cool figure or something that I like from pop culture. Maybe that's what draws me in with them. Maybe it's because I backed off of Funko and I need something to give me that fix, and here we go. I don't know. But so many people comment in my videos that they just don't like BrickHeadz and thus they won't go with these. I don't mind them. I ask myself all the time, why do I do it? But I do it. It's just a very neutral thing and it's very organic. It's a good build for the money. And if you don't like them, that's fine. But if you guys do, this is another 2 good sets to pick up. And the next thing for me personally, these are all because they are just released. I'm trying to collect as many of them as possible. Back when I did not like BrickHeadz, I once wanted to find just a basic Luke Skywalker. That's all I really wanted. Maybe a Luke with an R2-D2 unit or a Yoda. I thought that would be so awesome. I hit the second market trying to find that, and this dumb thing is already going for $100. And it was at that point that I realized that even though it started off its life at 10 bucks, some of these might actually have a secondary value once upon a moon later down the road. So that's another reason why I buy these. Price is right, decent build, maybe they're a replacement for Funko, and most importantly, maybe certain one of these will hit and be excellent to sell in a few years. But you guys are going to say what you guys want to say about these, and that's why we have a comment section. I want to hear what you guys have to say about them. You can't go wrong with them, so if you picked them up, let me know. If you didn't, well, let me know. And that's all we have for today's video. If you guys want to support the channel, you guys can hit the subscribe button, follow along with everything that we do. Share the video with a friend, hit the thumbs up, the like button. As I said earlier, drop comments down below. What do you think about these? If you like them, which ones do you like? If you don't, then, well, let me know. Let her rip. Up next on the channel, we are going to be doing Kylo Ren's helmet. I've got it right here and ready, so make sure to check that video out in a couple days if it's not out already. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you then. Y'all have a good one.